understanding power. And that, I think that's beautiful, and that's been the message from day one. And just want to say thank you for that.
For me, Mark was my partner in crime. This movie is about support networks in a big way. And I was lucky and fortunate enough to have mine in you and mostly my wife, Chelsea, back there. It's, so...
Mark Stafford, I was the writer and producer on the film, so I did all of the narrative arrangement. But once Brian brought back all the footage from those crazy trips, we found the consciousness of the film eventually.
Also, he's the beard stand-in for me.
Yeah. Back then, it was a little shorter, and it made sense. Yeah.
Dan, Mike, they wrote original music for the film. Mike is someone I thought of very early and was one of my early resources. Mike was an Army medic that signed up on 9/11 and immediately responded to the film. You can understand why. And Dan and Mike and Luke and Jeremy, they obviously felt the film in a big way. And I'm so thankful for you guys and your work in the film. I thought it was great. Obviously, I used it.
All right, I'll speak on that a little bit. So, as a creative, creating music is one thing, but creating music for something like this is like, this is it. Being able to change lives and be a part of that process, even if it's, I got to learn about John for months and months and months, and I'd never met John, and I met John yesterday. And I fucking hugged him. I love him. And, but I think a really unique part for me was, I'm a civilian. So I was blessed to understand more about this, one, but two, work with somebody who has served and also created on the project with me in unison for this music, and Mike, and that really kind of tied it all together for me in terms of the energy and being able to portray the message properly in service of what this film is. So I want to thank Mike.
Thanks, guys. So basically everything he said, ditto. But I really want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Your presence in this theater furthers the fight against PTSD, traumatic brain injury, mental health, and helps remove the stigma from society, from talking about it. So your presence here, if you go out and you talk about it, even if it has nothing to do with the military, it has to do with your own experiences or people that you know, please talk about it, encourage other people to talk about it, and we can move forward in the fight against this kind of stuff. Thank you.
So I wanted to remark on a little bit just about how the film kind of evolved from me just making my first trip out to visit John and us deciding we should do it. Obviously I'm a very visual person, I'm a filmmaker, and in my head before I start, I'm thinking about those beautiful landscapes, the mountains, the rivers, the valleys, like the places that were gonna be John's world for, it ended up being, what, a year and
3 months and a day.
5,807 miles and 7 pairs of shoes.
And then some moments where I had to have you like walk a section again for a section. I'm like, it's really nice right now. Please. Yeah, that happened a couple times. But really, like when the door was open for me to come into those houses of your Marine brothers. You had put yourself out there on the road to present yourself to the world, flaws, in all. And to talk to me, I felt that same bravery and courage. But for your Marine brothers to have the trust in you and then to trust in me, I'm just humbled by that courage and bravery. Brian, to just be able to allow me to kind of sit down and release everything to somebody you don't know on the trust from a brother. That's the brotherhood that they have. And that's an inspiring thing, and I think we can all take away something about from that bond and that commitment, that strength and loyalty that they have in each other. And it was a remarkable experience to see that behind the scenes. And we hope that came through.
Oh yeah.
Who cried? What is it, right? Absolutely. So, Hancock doing this walk and watching what it started out as and what it became over time was really an incredible thing. And I want to give a shout out to Brian for jumping in. I mean, dude, the film was incredible. Good job. So the whole big idea, I think, behind this thing was that, to combat the idea of, veteran suicide. And it's something that people whisper about. It's something that's a lot more prevalent in some folks' lives than others. But I think that the biggest thing here is to be, for veterans that are struggling, that they need to reach out to those of us that are here. Because everybody's had, a tough day or a tough go at it or had those thoughts or those feelings at some point or another. And, when we're in the Marine Corps, we say, if you need help, it's self-aid, buddy aid, corpsman aid. Well, if you're to the point where you're to the brink of, of putting a bullet through your brain, self-aid's not working anymore. It's time to call somebody. So, all I guess we'll ask, for those of you that serve, first of all, thank you. And for those of you who haven't, I'm sure everybody in this room knows somebody who has. If you see them not doing all right, maybe suggest to them, hey, call one of your brothers or sisters that you're in with, have a conversation. Ferguson put it pretty well in the video. Like, somebody's got to be near you that'll go have a steak and a beer with you and have a conversation. So, I guess my biggest message here is just, reach out. Nobody wants to be a statistic, and we owe it to each other to make sure that we're here for each other. So.
Well, you guys made my job really easy just now. So let's just open this up. I know we have